Welcome to CKLA Lesson 13, Unit 2. Today we are going to take our draft from How the Hedgehog Tricked the Hare and we're going to edit it into a complete paragraph. We're going to partner read the story, The Pancake, Part 2, and we're going to find antonyms in words. Let's recall some things for a checklist for our draft. So when you're looking at your draft, the first thing you make sure, do I have a title? Is my title capitalized? Now here is a quick editing checklist. So you can go back and take the sheet from yesterday, our sheet that we answered those questions on. I believe it was 12.3. We're going to make sure that our story has a title. We have described the setting. On the first two questions, we described the setting and the characters. Did you name and describe the characters? Did you have a plot with a beginning, middle, and an end? Do all of your sentences start with uppercase letters? So this is where you could take a crayon, you could take maybe an ink pen. You could go through and make sure that your sentences are correct. So they start with a capital letter and they end with punctuation. So a question mark, a period, an exclamation point. Have I spelled all of my words correctly? Take your paragraph or take your worksheet that you did yesterday. Let someone at home read through it and kind of double check and help edit your paragraph. Now, have I added some sense words? So you're telling how you're feeling about the story that you read. So on the back of our paper we wrote an opinion sentence. So make sure that you're using these good describing words, you're using vocabulary, and you are telling your final statement, your final sentence, your ending, how you feel about the story that we read. When we edit, it's important that we use the same conventions to correct our work. So using that basic checklist every time you write will make your writing better and will kind of develop some habits and patterns of good writers. You may want to take a pen, like I said, or a crayon, mark out things that are wrong that you're going to fix in your final draft, your final writing, right before we publish it. You may want to put like a caret in there. If there's a word that you're missing, you could draw that little, it's almost like an upside down V, and write that word in there. We do that often as writers. So when we go back and write our final draft, we write it correctly with our sentences having a complete thought. Now you're going to pause the video. On a sheet of paper, you are going to write your paragraph that you have edited in a good, complete, healthy paragraph ready to publish. Now, your first sentence that you write will be indented. Have a parent, adults, have someone help you indent your paragraph. You're going to write your sentences in the order in which they read, the easiest, they flow. Tell what happened first, next, last. But you'll do this when you have completely and totally edited your draft. So when you've read through every sentence on workbook page 12.3, then you're going to write your paragraph. So pause the video now so you can get your paper and you can begin writing your paragraph on, or your book report on, How the Hedgehog Tricked the Hare. Now that you've written your paragraph and we are ready to publish it, you'll put it back in your packet. This should be your final published paragraph, ready for others to read. Now we're going to read the Pancake Part 2. So pause the video and when you find the Pancake Part 2, this is page 77 and 78. It has 13.5 at the top. Now remember the key events from the Pancake Part 1. Take a minute now. Who are your characters in the story? Where did the story take place? What happened at the beginning, in the middle, and the end? It was a fantasy, right? You had your mom. She was feeding her 6 kids. Where were they? They were in a house, right? Were they in a house the whole story? No, it kind of changes because what happened when she was baking the Pancakes. Right, they jumped out of the pan. He jumped out of the pan and he took off running. Then he ran into some farmers, so that would change your setting. He then he was then on a farm. Think about your beginning, middle, and your end, your plot. We're going to read part 2 of the pancake. Now, first, let's look at our vowel controlled R's. R, and or, and let's read our words. Start, smart, are, dinner, farmers, nearer, snorted, for. Look at some 2-syllable words that you're going to see in your story. Mistakes, until, dinner, farmers, nearer, snorted. Now, based on what happened in part 1 of the pancake, go ahead and pause the video. Think of a prediction. What's going to happen in part 2? The end event, the farmers were trying to outrun the pancake, right? Take a minute to pause the video and predict what's going to happen in part 2. Now we're going to read the pancake part 2 together. So this time, I want you to make sure that you're following along. This time I want you to find someone at home. I want you to partner read together the pancake part 2. This is page 77 and 78 of your packet. Now you be sure and read this fluently and accurately. So if you need to read it more than once, you're practicing reading the pancake part 2. Now you will need to complete the pages that go along with the pancake 2. You will be cutting and pasting in sequence order the events that happened in the story, and you will be answering questions that go along with the story. Now we're going to talk about antonyms. For example, hot and cold. These are opposites. Think about what the word hot means and what the word cold means. They have opposite meaning. Fast and slow. These are antonyms. Big and small. They're opposite words. Big means really large. Small means really little in size. So it's complete opposite in meaning. They're antonyms. Now let's let's come up with antonyms together. Tomorrow you will be completing 14.1, which will go along with your antonyms that you have discussed today. You're going to complete 14.1, finding the antonyms. But now let's identify some antonyms before we start. The pancake is a fast runner. What's an antonym for fast? Good. Slow. Fast and slow have opposite meanings, so they are antonyms. The fox is clever. What would be an antonym for clever? Clever means really smart, sly. Dumb, not smart. Stupid. Those are opposites, right? Because clever would mean smart, and stupid would be the opposite. Jane wants her pig to get plump. What does plump mean? It means kind of fat, right? So what would an antonym for the word plump be? Thin or skinny. Good. Those are opposite in meaning. Those are antonyms. Jim is a big man. What is an antonym for this word? Big. Small. Good. These are opposite meanings. So when you're completing 14.1, you're going to look for words that mean the opposite. Antonyms mean the opposite. Mike is a young boy. What is the antonym for young? Old. Good. The opposite meaning, the antonym for young would be old. Now let's review our I can statements. We took our draft on how the hedgehog tricked the hare and we edited it into a complete paragraph. We partner read with someone at home, the pancake part 2. and discussed how it was a trickster tale. How is it a fantasy? We found the antonyms for certain words. Now have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow for lesson 14.